Piccolo is a character that has largely disappeared from the Dragon Ball FighterZ meta this past year, namely due to the fact that many of the top tier characters that have existed in Dragon Ball have pushed him out of the meta. They've denied him his core tool set. They made it very difficult for him to sort of play the game that he wants to play. This isn't primarily Labcoat's fault, as her spins just completely deleted his orbs and his Orb Okizeme. So with how popular she was as the #1 character in the game on everybody's team if you're playing competitively, Piccolo had no space in the meta. With her, as well as the other fusions like Gogeta 4 to some degree, namely Gogeta Blue and Vegito, I'd argue, being nerfed, you're not going to see those characters on every team, and so now Piccolo has a chance to shine, and he's got a few new tools that I think are going to make him stand out in the possible zoner-heavy meta that we are entering for Dragon Ball FighterZ. So without further ado, let's go over Piccolo's changes. I don't know why I didn't get my Piccolo video uploaded the first time around, but I've had a little more time to dig into this character, come up with a few cool examples of some of the interactions that his tools have. So we're going to explore all that right here, right now. Let's get started with his auto combo buff. So his auto combo, both second and third hit of it have bigger range. You can see they're nearly full screen options. This is not really great for his neutral because it's not like he has iframes or anti-air frames or anything like that. This can be pretty valuable for his pressure, however. If you're able to time his 5LL correctly, you're actually able to get in and continue your offense after a single reflect. If you go pretty quick with it, you get reflected out by a single reflect. And just to make sure it's not just a size-specific Z Broly thing. I'm too quick with my trigger finger. Thanks, Piccolo. As you can see, the timing is fairly precise, but I think once you find the rhythm to it, you'll find that this is a great change for Piccolo to kind of stay onto his opponents, making them commit to multiple reflects. If you do mash this out, you can react and do 5H to maintain your offense as well. So Piccolo is a little more sticky in this version of the game on his offense against reflect. That's a very much appreciated change. Now let's talk about the more interesting change for him, which is a change to his jump heavy. It has the knockback and the hit stun on it completely reworked. Before, you would get a hit with it, the enemy would fly across the screen, and you have to vanish to pick up a combo. Now they just spin in place, and this opens up a world of opportunities for his combo route. For example, you get a lot of your mid-screen or your corner-only routes in the mid-screen. As you can see, you can't do too many hits, otherwise your height gets a little funky with it, so you do have to adjust and kind of follow the same flow pattern for those. But there's some other interesting utilities as well. You can do Vegito's corner re-jumps mid-screen. You can combo into Super Dash, as we've just seen, if you're really precise. You can also combo into Dragon Rush, and this is possible in some of the longer combos that you can do with him. This is pretty fantastic because you could potentially choose between going for high damage routes and burning half of your bar for every knockdown that you want with Piccolo, or you can conserve some of your damage but maintain your meter and save up for a big meter dump later with a multiple Hell Zone combo, for example, or something like that. So that's a really cool change to see Piccolo get. There's tons of new sauce with the character. He does more damage. He builds more bar. You're going to have to leave some of your hits that you feel like you should get on the table just because these are heavy normals that you're adding to his combos. So be prepared to leave a jump out of your combo on some really long combos, especially in the corner. Another change to his normals was the Demon Shocker, his 6S. If you read like Hook Gang God, you would say the rigidity has been reduced. It's rigidity, but moving on. This used to be about a -5 normal, but now it is a -2 normal. So it was safe on block before. It's even more safe on block now. It's really easy to actually end your pressure with this and buffer a dash block. I'm actually going to turn my inputs on real quick to teach this concept. And then you can basically buffer a dash block with a normal, and if the opponent mashes on you, because you block, your button doesn't come out. This is a lot easier to do with with this -2 frame situation. So this is really great for Piccolo's pressure. He's always had really good pressure. It's only gotten better. So once he gets in on you, it's a nightmare scenario for you, I'd argue. Now, I think there's another change. I can't remember if this existed before the previous patch as well, but because of the reduced recovery that he has, if you set up into your Super Dash high-low mix that you want to do with characters like this, excuse me, the dummy was not blocking. Using Super Dash, you can create a high-low situation, but if the opponent reads it, they can call you out, of course. And anti-air you, get a happy birthday, but you can do success into Super Dash and will frame trap the 2H. This also frame traps any other 4-frame reversal option that exists because the gap is smaller than 4 frames. Basically, the only thing your opponent can do in this situation is hit you with a frame 1 reversal, like a Dragon Punch, or a level 3, or they can reflect you. This is a pretty powerful option to do because this isn't a Ki Blast property move. You can't make them buffer or reflect and have it come out. If they block it, they're going to chill, they're going to recover, then they're going to reflect, and just to prove the point further, we'll set them to guard cancel Super Dash. And they don't Super Dash. That's because they can't guard cancel out of this. This is a normal strike. It's not a Ki Blast property move. And so it's pretty easy for them to sit and look for your Super Dash and then reflect you away. But because they might be looking for it, that probably just means you can steal your turn again. And if they do reflect, well, you just go to town on them, right? All those are really good changes. But I think the most interesting change, arguably, for Piccolo in this patch is going to be to his medium and his light slicer. They increased the range on these. These are now full screen skip neutral options, which is a really great change for Piccolo. Now, there are a few things that you should be aware of when it comes to these options. I'm going to demonstrate them here. This is not going to be a great answer for Ki Blast style of zoning, which might be coming back just because we're going to see less Lab Code 21 flying around. Again, if you can make him whiff, it's great. But if you armor through it, the enemy can stop, 2H you, right? I can commit to 2 Ki Blasts here, I think. Well, it doesn't look like 2. Again, it all kind of depends on the interactions. This can be incredibly risky for you, and a savvy opponent can wait and bait it out and punish you for it. Where this is very much effective, though, is going to be against some of the slower options that exist. So if we bring in Blue Vegeta, the Big Bangs, he wants to jail you into Super Dash, right? Because he can do that with his special move. You could very much see this coming. React and punish it. You can deal with like Big Bang attack, any of the Kamehamehas out there. You basically just get a punish, and with an assist, you can get a reward for it too. So this is a really great thing for Piccolo to have. You can't really committally zone against this character. It's something that you always have to watch out for. There are some fairly unique character interactions that do exist, though, that you should be aware of at any given point. So we're going to set Piccolo to play. So if I'm Roshi and I have a special cancel Kamehameha, I can actually react to this and anti-air him if he goes for the cross up. He doesn't get a smash launch. If I miss completely, then I get punished. But if he goes forward and I anti-air him, then I can do that. So there are some matchup-specific things that you should be aware of. But if you're looking to beat Beam Super Dash shenanigans, these tools are pretty great at doing that. So that's something to be aware of. I think that this gives Piccolo a lot of value in this meta because he could potentially just counter zoning and then get his game plan going. That's a fantastic tool for him to have overall. The last change that he received is actually to his B assist. Demon Shocker, where they sped up the attack startup. It's now, instead of being like 25 frames, it's like 22 frames. And they also changed the position where it spawns. Other Piccolo, I need you to chill. So before it used to spawn right next to you, just like his A assist, but now it spawns behind you a bit. It seems like Bandai Namco's idea was to make this sort of a fast defensive assist that you could call potentially. You know, if the enemy is running some offense on you, right? You know, he'll adjust his spawning point based how close you are to them to try and reach out to them. And if they're point blank on you, well then he spawns all the way back here, mitigating his ability to be happy birthdayed in these things, and potentially, if there's enough of a gap, he could turn the tables on you. Is this going to make it something that you play over his A assist? I think it depends on what your team wants, and I think most people are picking Piccolo for that A assist, personally. So, still, it's a nice change. Maybe Piccolo B enthusiasts are eating good with that, and they're going to enjoy a good defensive style of assist. That's pretty much it for the Piccolo changes. Thank you all for watching this one. Sorry that this one slipped under my radar, but in return, I made it a far better quality breakdown, I think, compared to a couple other things with some extra research. I'm personally looking at playing Piccolo this patch, I think, so we'll see how that goes for me.